Ad hominem. Instead of attacking the argument, you attack the person making it. A politician proposes a new economic policy. His opponent responds by bringing up an old scandal, calling him a liar and a fraud. The crowd reacts. The policy is never discussed. Whether the politician is a good or bad person has nothing to do with whether the policy is sound. The argument gets buried under the personal attack and nobody notices. Straw man. You misrepresent someone's argument to make it easier to tear apart. Someone argues that the military budget should be reviewed and possibly reduced. Their opponent tells the public that they want to defund the military entirely and leave the country defenseless. That is not what was said. The distorted version gets destroyed while the real argument stands untouched and unaddressed. False dichotomy. You present two options as if they are the only two that exist, when in reality there are more. You either support this war or you hate your country. You're either with us or against us. The framing eliminates every middle ground and every alternative. The fallacy forces a choice between two extremes that were never actually the only options available. Appeal to authority. The opinion of an authority figure is used as evidence even when that authority has no relevant expertise in the topic being argued. A famous actor publicly endorses a medical supplement. Millions buy it. The actor's fame has no connection to medical or scientific knowledge. The fallacy treats status and reputation as a substitute for actual evidence. Slippery slope. You claim one event will lead to a chain of increasingly extreme consequences without providing evidence that the chain will actually happen. If we allow gay marriage, next people will want to marry animals. Each step in the chain is assumed rather than demonstrated. The fallacy treats a possible outcome as an inevitable one and uses that to reject the original idea entirely. No true Scotsman. When a real-world counterexample threatens a generalization, the original claim gets quietly redefined to exclude it rather than being reconsidered. No real supporter of this cause would act that way. Someone points out that many documented supporters have acted exactly that way. Well, no true supporter would. The goalposts move every time an exception appears. The claim becomes impossible to disprove because it keeps redefining itself. Circular reasoning. The conclusion is quietly used as one of the premises that's supposed to support it. The Bible is true because it says so in the Bible. He's untrustworthy because he's a liar. The argument loops back on itself. It assumes the very thing it's trying to prove and uses that assumption as its own justification. Nothing is actually being proven. Bandwagon fallacy. Something is argued to be correct or true simply because a large number of people believe it or do it. 100 million people use this supplement every day, so it must be effective. Popularity is not evidence. A majority opinion has been catastrophically wrong throughout history more times than anyone would like to admit. Appeal to nature. Something is argued to be good, safe, or morally correct simply because it is natural. This is a completely natural remedy, so it can't possibly cause harm. Arsenic is natural. Cyanide is natural. Smallpox is natural. The origin of something in nature says absolutely nothing about whether it is beneficial, safe, or ethical. Red herring. An irrelevant point is deliberately introduced to pull attention away from the actual argument. A company executive is being questioned in a hearing about environmental violations. He spends the entire response talking about how many local jobs the company provides and how much the community depends on them. Job creation has nothing to do with the violations being investigated. The original issue disappears in the noise. Hasty generalization. A sweeping conclusion is drawn from a sample that is far too small to support it. You visit a new country for days, have two unpleasant interactions, and conclude that the people there are rude and unfriendly. You interacted with two people out of millions. The conclusion is treated as universal truth based on almost no actual data. Post-HOC. Because one event followed another, it is assumed the first one caused the second. A baseball player wears a particular pair of socks on game day and his team wins. He wears them every game after that, convinced they are responsible for the results. He is confusing sequence with causation. One thing happening after another proves absolutely nothing about whether one caused the other. Sunk cost fallacy. You continue investing in something because of what you've already lost, rather than because continuing makes rational sense. A businessman has lost $300,000 on a failing venture over 2 years. He keeps pouring money in because walking away would mean admitting all of that was wasted. The money already spent is gone regardless. The only rational question is whether continuing is worth it going forward. It almost never is. Like and subscribe if you learned something new today.